You remember the armor, the alien bugs, and the line that echoed through pop culture. Would you like to know more? But behind Starship Troopers was a cast of young stars thrown into fame almost overnight. Some rose higher than anyone imagined. Others vanished without a trace. And a few paid a quiet price for sudden success. This is Starship Troopers, Then and Now, and the stories that followed after the final battle ended. Neil Patrick Harris stepped into Starship Troopers like a flash of cold intelligence. Eyes sharp, posture rigid, authority radiating beneath a black-gloved calm. When Carl Jenkins appeared on screen, the atmosphere tightened. The uniform felt heavier. The future suddenly looked less heroic and far more controlled. It was a chilling turn that lingered long after the battle dust settled. Born June 15, 1973, Harris was just 24 during filming, already seasoned far beyond his years. Trained early through programs like Interlochen Arts Camp, he first captured hearts as the boy genius in Doogie Howser MD, before deliberately shedding innocence for darker, more complex roles. Carl Jenkins marked a turning point, a performance built on restraint, intellect, and quiet menace. In the years that followed, Harris reinvented himself repeatedly. Broadway triumphs like Hedwig and the Angry Inch, pop culture dominance as Barney Stinson, and acclaimed hosting turns that showcased his versatility. By 2026, at 53, he remains creatively restless, acting, producing, and commanding stages with precision. His power lies not in reinvention alone, but in fearless evolution. Clancy Brown marched into Starship Troopers with a voice that could crack steel and a presence that felt carved from discipline itself. The moment Sergeant Zim barked his first command, the room snapped to attention. Authority wasn't suggested, it was enforced. Every step, every stare carried the weight of consequence. You didn't question Zim. You survived him, or you didn't. Born January 5, 1959, Brown was 38 during filming, already forged by classical training at Northwestern University and years of character-driven work. Early breakthroughs in Highlander and The Shawshank Redemption proved his rare ability to balance menace with humanity. As Zim, he stripped emotion down to its rawest core: discipline, loyalty, survival, creating one of sci-fi's most unforgettable drill sergeants. Off-screen, Brown's range expanded endlessly. Beloved voice work as Mr. Krabs, acclaimed dramatic roles, and decades of steady craftsmanship. Now, at 67, he remains actively working, a respected veteran still shaping stories. Jake Busey burst into Starship Troopers like a live wire, reckless energy, crooked confidence, and a grin that felt one heartbeat away from chaos. The first time Ace Levy swaggered into frame, the tone shifted. He wasn't the hero, wasn't the villain. He was the unpredictable pulse of a war that chewed people up fast. Born June 15, 1971, Busey was 26 into the role, carrying both the weight and freedom of his lineage as the son of Gary Busey. Trained at the Los Angeles County High School for the Arts, he forged his own path early, blending raw instinct with sharp comedic timing. Starship Troopers became his defining moment, capturing a performer unafraid to be loud, flawed, and alive. Roles in Contact, Enemy of the State, and later television work showed his adaptability across genres. Today, at 55, Busey continues acting steadily, embracing character roles with grit and humor. Ace Levy endures because he felt real, messy, fearless, unforgettable. Seth Gilliam entered Starship Troopers quietly, without swagger, and somehow that made Sugar Watkins hit harder. In the chaos of armored drills and battlefield bravado, his presence felt grounded, human, painfully real. When Sugar spoke, it wasn't noise. It was resolve shaped by discipline and survival. Born November 5, 1968, Gilliam was 28 during filming, already trained at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts, where he learned to build characters from restraint rather than volume. Before Starship Troopers, he appeared in films like Courage Under Fire, sharpening a screen presence defined by intelligence and control. His career later expanded with powerful television roles, most notably in The Wire and The Walking Dead, where his emotional precision became unmistakable. On screen, Sugar Watkins embodied loyalty under pressure. Off-screen, Gilliam is thoughtful, measured, and deeply committed to craft. Currently, at 57, he continues acting with purpose. Proof that strength doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it stands firm and lasts. Lenore Kasdorf appeared in Starship Troopers as Mrs. Rico with a presence that lingered long after the scene faded. Calm, composed, and quietly resolute. In a film driven by spectacle and warfare, her brief moment carried something rarer, emotional gravity. When she shared the screen with her son, the atmosphere softened, revealing the cost of duty beyond the battlefield. Born July 27, 1948, Kasdorf was 48 during production. Already a seasoned performer shaped by classical stage training and years of television work. Audiences had come to know her through Cheers, Family Ties, and L.A. Law, where her performances favored restraint over display. That same discipline defined her role here, a mother grounded in love, fear, and unspoken strength. Off-camera, Kasdorf built a career marked by professionalism and depth rather than fame. Presently, at 78, she lives away from the spotlight, her work remembered for reminding audiences that even in war stories, the most powerful battles happen at home. Stephen Ford stepped into Starship Troopers with a calm, grounded authority that felt lived in rather than performed. As Lieutenant Willie, his presence carried the weight of experience. A soldier who didn't need speeches to be believed. In the chaos of battle, Ford's stillness became its own kind of gravity, a steady pulse beneath the spectacle. Born May 19, 1956, Ford was 41 into the role, bringing decades of discipline shaped by classical training and a deep respect for craft. The son of Hollywood legend Henry Fonda, he chose a quieter path, earning recognition through restraint rather than lineage. His early work in television and film built a reputation for reliability, subtle strength, and emotional honesty. Away from the camera, Ford gradually stepped back from acting, focusing on family and a life beyond constant roles. Nowadays, at 70, he is remembered not for excess, but for how presence alone can make a character feel real, steady, human, and enduring. Patrick Muldoon burst onto Starship Troopers like a spark thrown into dry air. As Xander Barkalow, he carried swagger, impatience, and the sharp edge of rivalry, the kind of presence that instantly raised the temperature of every scene. When Xander appeared, you felt friction before a single word landed, a young soldier testing his limits against both authority and fate. Born January 27, 1968, Muldoon was 29 when the film went before cameras, already seasoned by years of television work and classical study at Michigan State University. His breakout on Days of Our Lives and Melrose Place built his reputation as a charismatic risk-taker, equally comfortable with charm and volatility. Starship Troopers sharpened that image, revealing a performer willing to expose ego, fear, and consequence within the same breath. Off-screen, Muldoon proved disciplined and enduring, quietly sustaining a career across film, television, and producing. At present, at 58, he remains active in the industry, a reminder that raw intensity, when tempered by experience, can evolve into lasting presence rather than fade away. Rue McClanahan appeared in Starship Troopers like a knowing pause before the storm, composed, measured, and quietly unsettling. As the biology teacher who delivers a cold lesson about survival and sacrifice, she didn't raise her voice or chase spectacle. Instead, she let silence do the work. In that brief moment, the room seemed to narrow, and the future of the film hardened into something unforgiving. Born February 21, 1934, McClanahan was 62 when the cameras rolled, already a master of control shaped by classical training at the University of Tulsa and the Pasadena Playhouse. Long before this role, she had reshaped television history as Blanche Devereaux on The Golden Girls, earning Emmy acclaim and cultural immortality. That warmth, wit, and southern elegance stood in sharp contrast to the detached authority she brought here, proof of a range built over decades. She passed away on June 3, 2010, at 76, from complications following a stroke. What remains is not just nostalgia, but respect, for an artist who understood that even a single scene can leave a lasting mark. Michael Ironside stormed into Starship Troopers like a live round hitting steel, blunt, uncompromising, and impossible to forget. The first time Gene Rasksack barked an order, the film's tone snapped into focus. This was not a cartoon drill sergeant. This was conviction forged in scars, experience, and absolute belief. His presence didn't entertain. It commanded. Born February 12, 1950, Ironside brought decades of intensity to the role at 47, shaped by early theater work and a career built on authority figures who carried both menace and humanity. Beyond Rasksack, he carved a legacy through films like Scanners and Total Recall, becoming Hollywood's unmistakable voice of hard truth. Yet beneath the steel exterior lived a thoughtful performer, a writer, and a survivor who openly battled cancer without retreating from his craft. This day, at 76, Ironside continues to work selectively, lending his voice and presence to film, television, and gaming. What endures most is his impact. Marshall Bell stepped into Starship Troopers with a quiet authority that didn't need theatrics to register. As General Owen, he didn't shout to be heard. He stood still, eyes steady, letting rank and consequence hang in the air. In a film driven by spectacle, his presence grounded the chain of command, reminding us that wars are shaped as much by rooms and decisions as by battlefields. Born September 28, 1942, Bell brought decades of disciplined craft to the role at 54, shaped by classical theater training and a career defined by precision. Before Starship Troopers, he became a familiar face in A Nightmare on Elm Street, Total Recall, and Stand By Me, often portraying men whose calm masked danger or control. On screen, he projected restraint. Off-screen, colleagues knew him as meticulous, prepared, and deeply respectful of ensemble work. Now, at 83, Marshall Bell lives a quieter life, having stepped back from acting. His performances remain proof that true authority on screen doesn't demand volume, only conviction. Eric Bruskotter stepped into Starship Troopers with a restless edge that instantly caught the eye. As Breckenridge, he didn't dominate scenes through volume or bravado, but through tension, a sharp, unpredictable presence that felt ready to snap at any moment. When he appeared, the atmosphere tightened, as if youth itself had been drafted into something far larger and far more dangerous. Born March 22, 1966, Bruskotter was 30 when the role took shape, already seasoned by earlier work like Major Payne, 1995, where his physical intensity first turned heads. He brought that same raw energy here, contrasting sharply with the disciplined world around him. On screen, Breckenridge felt volatile and impulsive. Off-screen, Bruskotter was known as focused, grounded, and deeply respectful of the craft. After several strong film appearances, he gradually stepped away from Hollywood, choosing a quieter, more private path. In 2026, at 60, his legacy lives on through a performance that captured the fierce uncertainty of a generation sent into the unknown. Dina Meyer burst onto the battlefield of Starship Troopers with a fearless grin and a pulse that never slowed. As Dizzy Flores, she carried herself like someone who already knew the cost of loyalty, charging forward anyway. The moment she appeared, the tone shifted. This wasn't just bravado, it was conviction forged in motion, sweat, and sacrifice. Born December 22, 1968, Meyer was 28 when Dizzy took shape, drawing from classical training at New York University's Tisch School of the Arts. Her early breakout in Dragonheart, 1996, hinted at strength, but Dizzy revealed emotional depth, toughness layered with vulnerability, courage edged by longing. On screen, Dizzy fought hard and loved harder. Off-screen, Meyer was thoughtful, disciplined, and deeply invested in character truth rather than spectacle. After Starship Troopers, she built a steady career across film and television, including Birds of Prey and Saw. Today, at 57, Dina Meyer continues working with quiet consistency, her portrayal of still remembered as one of the film's most human hearts. Matt Levin arrived in Starship Troopers like a spark about to be tested by fire. As Kitten Smith, he carried a raw, youthful confidence that felt fragile beneath the bravado, a recruit caught between adrenaline and the quiet fear of what lay ahead. In the heat of combat, his expressions told a deeper story, excitement cracking into shock, innocence colliding with consequence. It was a brief performance, yet one that lingered like an unfinished sentence. Born January 14, 1973, Levin was 24 during filming, already seasoned from years as a child actor in television and family films. Early roles in projects like Benji the Hunted and sitcom appearances shaped his instincts, teaching him timing, restraint, and emotional clarity. On screen, Kitten was impulsive and fearless. Off-screen, Levin was thoughtful, grounded, and quietly reflective. After stepping away from acting, he chose a life beyond the spotlight. Currently, at 53, Levin stands as a reminder that some performances burn briefly, and are remembered precisely because they felt real. Blake Lindsley stepped into Starship Troopers with a presence that felt quietly human amid all the steel and slogans. As Katrina, she brought a grounded calm to a world driven by noise and bravado, a young soldier whose eyes revealed doubt, courage, and unspoken resolve in equal measure. In brief moments, her performance hinted at lives lived before the uniform, and futures suddenly placed at risk. Born December 19, 1973, Lindsley was 24 when she joined the cast, already shaped by theater training and years of disciplined craft. She honed her instincts on stage and television, learning how restraint can speak louder than spectacle. Katrina's strength on screen contrasted with Lindsley's thoughtful, introspective nature off-camera, an actress more focused on truth than attention. After several film and television appearances, she gradually stepped away from acting to pursue a more private life. Presently, at 52, she is remembered for a performance that didn't demand the spotlight, yet stayed with audiences long after the battle ended. Anthony Ruivivar entered Starship Troopers with a quiet intensity that cut through the spectacle. As Shu Jimmy, his presence felt grounded and alert, a soldier shaped by discipline rather than bravado. In a world roaring with propaganda and firepower, Ruivivar's performance carried a human stillness, the sense of someone watching carefully, measuring survival one breath at a time. Born November 4, 1970, Ruivivar was 26 when he stepped into the role, already trained in theater and committed to character-driven work. His early years sharpened an ability to communicate through restraint, a skill that would soon define his career. That promise fully bloomed on television, where he became widely recognized as Carlos Nieto on Third Watch, followed by notable roles across film, network drama, and genre television. In 2026, at 55, he continues working steadily in acting and voice roles, respected for longevity, professionalism, and performances that never shout. Brenda Strong arrived in Starship Troopers with a command that needed no raised voice. As Captain Deladier, her presence felt composed, resolute, a figure who carried authority not through force, but through certainty. In a universe obsessed with spectacle and bravado, she grounded the moment with clarity, reminding viewers that leadership often speaks in calm decisions rather than loud orders. Born March 25, 1960, Strong was 37 when she stepped into the role, already shaped by classical training and years of disciplined performance. Early television work sharpened her poise, while later breakthroughs in Twin Peaks, Everwood, and Desperate Housewives revealed her ability to balance strength with emotional nuance. On screen, she often embodied women of quiet power. Off-screen, she became known for advocacy, wellness leadership, and thoughtful public voice. These days, at 66, remains creatively active, choosing projects with intention, mentoring, and speaking openly about resilience, purpose, and aging with grace. Dean Norris entered Starship Troopers with the weight of command already etched into his posture. As the commanding officer, he didn't rely on spectacle. His authority lived in restraint, in the measured way he assessed chaos before issuing orders. It was a brief presence, yet unmistakable, grounding the film's militarized frenzy with realism and human gravity. Born April 8, 1963, Norris was 34 when she stepped into the role, brought years of classical training and stage discipline into every role. His early career moved steadily through television and film, shaped by an actor's patience rather than overnight fame. That foundation paid off in later years, when roles in Breaking Bad and Under the Dome revealed his gift for portraying power strained by moral pressure. Off-screen, colleagues describe a thoughtful, generous collaborator who values craft above spotlight. This day, at 63, remains actively working in film and television, choosing roles that explore complexity rather than caricature. Christopher Curry entered Starship Troopers with a quiet authority that didn't need raised voices or battlefield bravado. As Mr. Rico, he embodied the weight of an older generation, a man shaped by duty, restraint, and unspoken expectations. In a film fueled by youth and adrenaline, his presence slowed the rhythm, grounding the story with gravity and consequence. Born October 22, 1948, Curry was 48 when he took on the role, drawing from decades of classical training and a career rooted in theater and television. Educated at prestigious institutions and respected for his disciplined craft, he had already made his mark through stage work and notable screen appearances, earning a reputation for intelligence and emotional precision. By 2026, at 77, Christopher Curry has stepped away from regular acting, enjoying a quieter life while remaining deeply respected within the industry. Angie Brockman arrived in Starship Troopers with the sharp edge of a soldier already hardened by the future, alert, disciplined, and quietly defiant. As Corporal Birdie, she carried herself with a confidence that cut through the chaos, a face that suggested survival was not luck, but instinct. In a world built on spectacle and satire, her presence grounded the battlefield with something real. Born February 24, 1970, Brockman was 27 when she stepped into the armor, drawing on formal training and early television work that shaped her physical precision and emotional control. Before Starship Troopers, she appeared in series like Baywatch and The X-Files, steadily building a career defined by strength and adaptability. Off-screen, she pursued balance, choosing roles selectively and valuing life beyond the camera's glare. Now, at 55, she lives away from the spotlight, having stepped back from acting to focus on personal priorities and family life. Her brief but striking performance endures. Casper Van Dien burst onto the screen in Starship Troopers like a sunlit hero forged in steel, confident, clean-cut, and charged with destiny. As Johnny Rico, he carried the film's paradox on his shoulders, youthful idealism marching straight into the machinery of war. The first time Rico stood tall in uniform, audiences felt a shift. Innocence tested, courage demanded, fate accelerating. Born December 18, 1968, Van Dien was 28 when he stepped into the role that defined his early career. Trained in theater and sharpened through television work, he rose quickly as a classic leading man with an old Hollywood profile. After Starship Troopers, he continued working steadily in film and television, embracing action, sci-fi, and independent projects while remaining closely connected to fan culture through conventions worldwide. Off-screen, Van Dien revealed resilience, navigating career peaks, personal challenges, and reinvention with humility. Today, at 57, he remains active in entertainment, balancing acting, producing, and family life. Denise Dowse entered Starship Troopers with a presence that felt earned, not announced. Calm authority rising above the chaos, a leader shaped by consequence rather than bravado. As Sky Marshal Meru, she didn't need grand speeches to command the room. One steady look, one measured pause, and the weight of command settled into the frame, reminding audiences that power often speaks softly. Born February 21, 1958, Dowse was 39 when she brought Meru to life, drawing from years of disciplined craft and emotional intelligence. Trained in theater and sharpened through decades of television work, she became a trusted force in Hollywood, appearing in projects like Beverly Hills, 90210, Insecure, and countless guest roles that showcased her range and quiet strength. Off-screen, Dowse was known for generosity, mentorship, and deep commitment to her art. Sorrowfully, she passed away on August 13, 2022, at 64, following complications from viral meningitis. Her work endures as a testament to leadership portrayed with humanity, restraint, and enduring grace. Bruce Gray entered Starship Troopers with the gravity of someone who had lived inside authority long before the camera rolled. As Sky Marshal Dien's, his presence felt weathered and deliberate, a commander shaped by decades of command, every word carrying the cost of experience. When he appeared on screen, the energy shifted. This was not bravado. This was history speaking. Born August 7, 1936, Gray was 60 when he portrayed Dien's, drawing from a lifetime of disciplined performance. Trained at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, he built his career on precision and restraint, earning respect through roles in Trading Places, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and Star Trek: Deep Space Nine. His performances favored quiet authority over spectacle, making him a natural embodiment of leadership. Off-screen, Gray was known as thoughtful, meticulous, and deeply committed to craft. Regrettably, Bruce Gray passed away on December 13, 2017, at 81, from brain cancer. His legacy remains etched in performances that proved true power never needs to shout. Denise Richards arrived in Starship Troopers like a streak of light cutting through cold space. As Carmen Ibanez, she carried calm confidence and quiet ambition, a pilot's focus that never wavered, even when the universe collapsed around her. The moment she took the helm, the film's energy shifted. Carmen wasn't chasing glory. She was steering toward purpose. Born February 17, 1971, Richards was 26 when she stepped into the role, already shaped by classical modeling discipline and early screen work. Raised in Illinois and trained through years of competitive casting, she broke through with Wild Things, 1998, The World Is Not Enough, 1999, and later television success that revealed range far beyond her early image. Her career became a constant negotiation between public perception and personal resilience. Off-screen, Richards navigated fame, media scrutiny, and reinvention with determination. Currently, at 55, she continues working in film, television, and reality projects. Thank you for staying with us through the legacy of Starship Troopers. These actors gave us more than battles and uniforms. They gave us moments that still echo today. If this journey moved you, like, subscribe, and share which story stayed with you most.